Well, Sam, after a result like we got at the weekend at Chelsea, what has the mood been like around the place this last few days?
Well, I think there's a few more smiles more than normal. I think rightly so. I think you could take, great satisfaction out of the performance, and ultimately the end result was not what most people in this country who follow football expected. And I think that's the beauty of the Premier League. At any given time, you can deliver a performance against your opposition that's good enough to beat them, no matter where and what position you are in the league. And we have been threatening this for quite a while, and I've been talking about it for quite a while. I'm sure the West Brom fans realise how close we have been to producing more wins, perhaps not of the margin that we did against Chelsea, but certainly with the football that we've played and the chances created, we'd have seen more victories than the draws recently. So finally, we hit all the areas we needed to hit, and completely destroyed a Chelsea Football Club that has gone on to win the Champions League game last night 2-0 quite comfortably. But against us, they didn't. We made them look a little bit mediocre, to say the least.
The game was marred, Sam, by disgusting racial abuse aimed at Callum Robinson on Instagram. I'd just like to ask you how Robbo has been this week and what your thoughts are on the issue.
Well, Robbo's quite a strong character, but that doesn't mean to say that we should condone anything of this sort. And it's an ongoing problem that continues to be ongoing. And of course, in our position as a football club, we can't condone any form of discrimination. This club doesn't do it. We don't do it. Internally, we don't do it now, I think. And I think that, yes, what can we do lies in a bigger field, in a bigger area, to sort out this particular problem, because until the social media companies, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, you name it, all of those, Twitter, to name just a few, until they all come together and all pull together to cut this out, we have little or no chance of stopping it, because they're the ones who develop the systems. They're the ones who create trillions of pounds of money to continue developing their systems. And they're the ones that know where the infiltrators are, if they really want to look for them, in my opinion. And it's only my humble opinion. And as not an Instagram follower or Twitter follower, because I simply don't like it. I think it gives too many people their private views, which does leave you open to abuse, but not this sort and not this type. Callum, over 70 abusive messages over 20 different accounts. Luckily enough for the police have been along and are sympathetic towards the situation. But we've been waiting for a long time, and there is no end to this, and doesn't seem to be any way forward from us reporting to the police what will actually be done about it. And that's going to continue until we actually, told the government, I think, eventually are brave enough to stand up against these big social media companies and say, you must do more. Having knocked them, obviously people get a huge amount of pleasure from it, make huge amount of money from it on followers, and obviously it's not going to stop, and I don't expect it to stop. But what I do expect them to do is have more responsibility in tackling this problem. They know all the technology, they develop the technology, they have the trillions of pounds to go with it to stop it, I think.
Back to matters on the pitch, Sam, and fantastic result last weekend at Chelsea, but how important is it to now back that up with another 3 points on Monday against Southampton and really keep applying the pressure on those sides above us?
Well, it's the only way forward for us to re-deliver and deliver yet another winning, I have to put winning performance, because far too often the performance is there or has been there without the win. So that performance needs to be emulated along at the end of that. The result needs to be a win. We need to win back-to-back games for the first time this season. We've been in this position before and failed. So I'll be reminded of the players on their responsibility to finally, break the fact that we haven't done a back-to-back win and what a back-to-back win would mean. Sadly for us, we have to wait till Monday evening. Far too long for us, but we unfortunately have to accept that because of obviously the TV rights.
Forward players were on fire down at Stamford Bridge. Are you confident, Sam, that they can keep on banging in the goals to hopefully steer us clear of danger in the Premier League this season?
Keep practicing your finishing. We watch we do, and the quality of the finishes was the greatest surprise for me on the basis of how we have slipped up so many times to clinch 3 points after, I have to say, much easier chances than we created at Chelsea. But the quality of the finishing was outstanding. All five, not just 2 bobblers and 3 good goals. All 5 goals were quality. And we need to keep that up. We need to make sure we emulate that going into Monday's game, which will be obviously, as always for us, a hugely and massively difficult game against Southampton, who came back from 2-0 down against Burnley to win 3-2 at the weekend. So they'll have a lot of confidence now, and have got a lot of their injured players, top quality injured players, back in the side.
I was just going to ask you, what are your thoughts on Southampton? They've had a mixed season, haven't they? They started the season very well. They had a lot of injuries, have dropped into the bottom half. But what type of game are you expecting at the Hawthorns?
I think it shows you what a great start means in the world of the Premier League. For years and years and years, I've always told the players the more important thing is the first 10 games compared to the last 10. Because lots of people think that when they play the first 10, there's still another 28 to go, still another 30 to go if they've played 8 with plenty of time. You haven't. You do what Southampton do, and you go 14 games with only winning 1, you still don't find yourself anywhere near the bottom 3. That's what that means, keeps the pressure off, wait for it to turn around, then you come good again. You might get a bit of stick on the way, but ultimately you'll finish just below the top half or just above the top half when you turn it around. But no pressure regarding being or any threatening for you job as a manager by being in the relegation zone. So it shows you what a great start means. And along with the bad run, the huge amount of injuries, I remember watching them at Man United with academy players in. And I have to say, and I'm not really that superstitious, but I'm touching wood here, it's a magnificent well done to all the staff here behind the scenes on how well we've kept our players fit and available for selection through this very, very difficult period, which has helped us improve performances and ultimately, hopefully, will help us improve more and more wins in these last 8 games.
Final thing I just wanted to ask you, Sam, was on injuries. Dara O'Shea got a knock and had to come off, and then it looked like a hamstring injury to Branislav at Chelsea. Just wondered how those two are heading into Monday.
Brady will be a long time, we think. We have to assess it week by week, but certainly at the moment it's going to be a long period. And I think that Dara is looking very good for the Southampton game because we've got that extra couple of days being a Monday night instead of a Saturday.